My name is Stanislav Boyka. I don't have much to say about myself, except I do love teaching. I began my teaching career at a university exactly 10 years ago. In August 2013, I met my first students at the university. Great people, I loved them, and there was a problem. The majority of them didn't want to study. I mean, their primary aim was to get into university, but when their dream came true, they just lost enthusiasm to study further. And I still remember how disappointed I was during my lectures. Remember, I was trying to explain some difficult rules in English grammar, but I noticed that the majority of them just didn't listen to me carefully. And it hurt me. So after working for several months at the university, I decided to open my own course. That time IELTS was just gaining ground. So I opened 2 groups with 6, maximum 7 students in each. And I started helping students to prepare for the IELTS test. Yes, I had groups with very few students, but all of them were hardworking, curious, and enthusiastic. And I finally got job satisfaction. I loved working with them. So in the first half of working day, I was a university lecturer, and in the late afternoons, I was giving IELTS classes for 6, maximum 7 students, and I loved that. Soon, more and more people started asking me to add them to the groups. I simply couldn't. The room was too small. Again, it was at the university. I asked for permission to teach in a smaller room. The maximum capacity was like 7 people, so I had to find a bigger place. I found a room for rent outside the campus. Then I could teach up to 15 students at a time, and everything became even better. So I had 30 students preparing for the IELTS test, but one day something unexpected happened. I wanted to open the new generation of my IELTS students, and I gave an announcement that I could accept 30 people, like 15 and 15, but that day more than 200 people came. I wasn't ready for this, so when I invited 30 people, I didn't know what to tell to the others. Around 180 people were standing in a corridor, and I explained to them, I apologized that I couldn't help so many people, but many of them didn't understand me. Some were upset and few were just angry. I recall they smashed the door, they told me some bad stuff. At that time, the idea of a language center came to my mind. Originally, I didn't plan to open a language center. I didn't think that it would go so far. I just wanted to work with people who had the same purpose. I wanted to gather the intellectuals in one classroom. So I never attended business trainings. I never wanted to have some commercial projects. No. But I wanted to help people, and it was very hard to say no. So I moved to a place with several rooms later. I called the place the Intellectuals with the abbreviation of IELTS inside. And now I'm working in a language center with 6 rooms. I work in a team because teaching many students is barely possible by one person. But still, these days, I have to say no to some people, to some parents who ask me for help, and my groups are full. Because 6 rooms are not so many. And speaking of my career, speaking of that decade, I think it was just the beginning. If we compare my career with an IELTS essay, I would call this decade an introduction. And the main part is just going to begin.